Yo, what's going on, guys? The Kaioken here. Welcome back to another Dragon Ball The Breakers video. And in today's video, I want to talk about the 10 active skills you need before Season 2 starts for Dragon Ball The Breakers. Now, there actually were a lot of good active skills that came out, and some that were given to you pretty much for free. So, one of them we'll get to in a moment is passive skills. I'm stupid. Is Kaioken Rush. So Kaioken Rush is an ability that if you watched any of my YouTube videos, you basically see this equipped on my kit pretty much since I started. It's a really good versatile ability. It's good for traversing the map. It's good for knocking back the raider far, and it's just a good option in a pinch as well, just because there are times when the Super Time Machine, you know, could be nearing completion and the raider's on the Super Time Machine and your barrier might be down, you might not have your dragon change. If you're able to land the Kaioken Rush, it knocks the raider fairly far, and it might just be the difference between winning and losing. I tend to use it when escaping the raider. The fact that you can like angle it up and downwards, left and right, you have some control over it. It's very good. Probably the weakest thing about this move is its startup. If you're being shot at by the raider and you're using it, unfortunately 9 times out of 10 you're going to get shot mid animation. So it's really, really good in combination with this ability, which I imagine you guys probably saw coming, which is Energy Field. Now, just to go over, I'm not really talking about these active skills in any particular order. These are just 10 active skills that I think you guys should have before Season 2 starts. And Energy Field goes without saying. It's the best active skill in the game, hands down, no competition. Basically, if you don't know what it does, it gives you a barrier. It makes you invulnerable for a short amount of time. And while this barrier is active, you could do anything. You could use the grappling hook. You could use Kaioken Rush. You could drink a soda. You could pick up a cube. You could revive somebody. You could be on the Super Time Machine. You could run around the Super Time Machine while the raider is trying to destroy it and knock them off. If the raider tries to attack you while this is up, they drop their Dragon Balls and they get knocked back. Like, the Energy Field is just so good. It has so much like utility. It's just it's honestly, I don't see any active skill topping this for a long time, but we'll see in Season 2, man. We'll see. This is one of the, this is the second banner that we got in the game. So the fact that this skill honestly was so good and lasted as well as it has, like, it hasn't lost its usefulness. So you definitely, honestly, out of all the active skills in the game, you need this one the most. It's that good. So moving on the list, this probably was obvious to some of the veteran players as well, is the capsule single wheel motorbike, or the Motorbike as I like to call it. The Motorbike is very, very good. Its cooldown is honestly not as long as it probably should be for how useful this ability is. It's really, really good for getting across the map very quickly, good for getting to down survivors, good for escaping the raider. You can literally dust raiders very, very easily. Of course, if you are shot out of it, you're kind of a sitting duck, but that's why you do need the one drawback with this skill is the fact that you do need to equip the passive skill. I'll just show it here so you guys know what I'm talking about. Expert Driver's Speed Boost. You do want to have this passive ability at least at level 10. That way your bike is moving fast, because if your bike isn't fast enough, it's not really worth the slot. So that's probably like the weakest part about this skill, is that you do need the speed boost equipped. I don't really feel like it's that consistent in escaping the raider if you don't have it equipped. So if you are equipping this, you're gonna need that passive. So moving on, we have Solar Flare. Now, I've been pretty critical of Solar Flare in the past, but I must admit that it is a useful ability. Stuns are very, very powerful in this game. Any way that can like stun the raider that allows other survivors to land a super attack, land a melee combo, escape, get a little more time on the Super Time Machine, whatever, right? So stuns are very, very important, and Solar Flare is one of the quickest in terms of cooldown and recharging. It does take a little bit of time to get out, and honestly, I don't find it that great in terms of coming out, but because it is so cheap and it is very easy to pull, being with TN, I do feel like you guys should have it, and that way, you have it mastered, you can just use it in general. But I'm just gonna go over basically the next stun that's very similar, that I think is better, that you guys should have, which is Charming Pose. I just find that Charming Pose is more consistent. It comes out faster, and the range, I believe, is a little bit better. And I just find it a little more consistent than Solar Flare. But the big con here is that Charming Pose has double the cooldown. So Solar Flare's cooldown is 30 seconds, Charming Pose is 60. And of course, you actually don't need to pull this ability. You have it automatically because Bulma is one of the free character skins that comes with the game. So if you don't want to, have Bulma as a character skin, you just need to master this level 10. You can use Charming Pose with basically any build, any character in the game. Moving on, we'll go with another stun ability, which is Krillin Shoe. I feel like a lot of people sleep on this ability, myself included. It's actually very good. Of course, it doesn't really have much tracking, if any at all, but it's pretty easy to land if the raider is kind of just directly in front of you, or if they're attacking another survivor, or if they're like chasing you. Unless they see it coming, I feel like Krillin Shoe honestly isn't that bad, and it has such a short cooldown, so even if you miss it, you're gonna get it right back next encounter with a raider, right? So if you escape the raider, you encounter them again, I imagine it'll be more than 30 seconds, you'll have it back, you'll have another opportunity to pop it. And also, if you land the Booty Wiggle, or Charming Pose, I like to call it the Booty Wiggle, or Solar Flare, you can hit the Krillin Shoe right afterward and double stun the raider, which can be really helpful in scenarios where the Super Time Machine is just this close to starting and the raider is very, very close to destroying it. So honestly, I feel like Krillin Shoe is a must-have before Season 2 starts, and Krillin, with him being like a pretty common pull to get, I imagine most of you will be getting him, so I wouldn't stress out about that, but you should have it for Season 2. Next up is an ability that's actually not one that you need to unlock, but I just want to bring attention to it. And of course, this is one that you still need. I feel like this is an ability that, honestly, I feel like belongs on any kit. The grappling device is just so good. And to get the best bang out of your buck when using the grappling device, if you jump in the air and use the grappling device, you actually get a speed boost. Like, you go faster with it as opposed to just using it on the ground. If you use it on the ground, you don't use it as fast. You guys can correct me if I'm wrong. I'm fairly certain that's how it works, but depending on where you are, the grappling device isn't as fast, but it's very quick. There is issues sometimes. You're like pointing it and it's like blinking red and you're like, what the fuck, why isn't it working? And it's been the difference between life or death with me sometimes. So be it as it may, I do think grappling device is a very good ability. It's free, it comes with the game. You buy Drive All the Breakers, you have the grappling device. So I just wanted to bring it to your attention that you should at least experiment with it if you don't like it that much, but I highly recommend it. All right, so moving on, I wanted to recommend an ability that I originally wasn't that big on at first, but I've seen people use it not only against me, but I've actually had some experience with it myself. After Image. So After Image is an ability that has a quick cooldown, and unfortunately, it doesn't really have the utility or utility that Cell does. So I like to use After Image with Cell, like to kind of like traverse the map and move really quickly, besides just dodging. But you can't really do that with the Survivor's version of After Image. The only reason why you would want to use After Image is if you're in a melee combo, or if the raider is, stun locking you or anything. Basically, this is your version of a breakaway move that like the raiders have, which is their like down D-pad move. So this is a very good defensive option for survivors, and that's pretty much it. I think that's all I wanted to say about After Image. But yeah, it's definitely an ability that I feel like is good if you want some defensive options to escape the raider in combos and whatnot. And another ability that's actually one that isn't a active skill, but it's a device, but still an active skill, is the Smoke Screen. So the Smoke Screen is an ability that has a very quick cooldown, and although it doesn't guarantee a raider not shooting you, I feel like there are moments where, like, say, just to describe a scenario for you, I'm a level 4, I have Super Electric Strike, and I have 17's Barrier. Or I don't even have 17's Barrier, right? Because there were times where I didn't. I would pop the Smoke Screen. I could land like 3 Super Electric Strikes on the raider because he wasn't able to shoot me or lock onto me because I used the Smoke Screen. I feel like if you use the Smoke Screen in combination with the bike or in combination with other like evasive active skills, you will have a better chance of escaping the Raider, but it's not guaranteed, right? Like, it doesn't make you invulnerable, but it just means that the Raider cannot lock onto you, so they'll have to be reliant on their aim. So yeah, and last up for devices and active skills in general that I feel like you should have before Season 2 is the trap device. I feel like this is a good option, say, you know, God forbid you don't have Solar Flare, you don't have, or you don't feel like mastering the booty wiggle, or you don't feel like using Krillin's shoe. Trap device, I feel like, is a really, really good ability. This is purchasable in the shop, has a very, very quick cooldown, and if you throw this on the Super Time Machine, it's guaranteed to hit the Raider eventually, just because of its range. And like, say if you're in a cave and the Raider is like coming on you, you just pop this by the entrance in the cave and they'll get stunned and you can just walk out of the cave and escape. So I feel like the trap device is kind of slept on. But yeah, guys, these are the active skills that I kind of just wanted to touch upon and make sure that you have so you're prepared for Season 2. And to go over them again, Energy Field, Kaioken Rush, Single Wheel Motorbike, the Bulma Bike, Solar Flare, Charming Pose, Booty Wiggle, Krillin's Shoe, Grappling Device, After Image, Smoke Screen, and Trap Device. It's not like these other active skills are bad by any means. It's just that I feel like these ones that I mentioned are the ones that you need for Season 2. Like, the other ones are kind of whatever. But yeah, guys, if you enjoyed the video, let me know in the comments below. Let me know if there's any active skills I missed. I feel like the ones I mentioned are probably the better ones. I was tempted to mention maybe like Change, Camouflage, but like that was kind of it. And maybe the Saiyan Pod Remote, but like, I don't know if you necessarily need the Saiyan Pod Remote. But anyways, guys, those are the active skills that I want to talk about. Again, in the comments, let me know if I missed any, if there are any that you wish I mentioned, and subscribe for more Dragon Ball The Breakers content. I'll catch y'all in the next one. Peace.